Okay. I think I accidentally built myself a free employee. Like, right now, all I need to do is pick up my phone, send a message in Telegram, and my Notion planner handles everything for me. New project, timeline, tasks, team assignments, meetings, everything. It actually checks everyone's availability, assigns work based on who's free, and even schedules meetings at logical times. And every morning, it sends me my full schedule before I even open Notion. What I need to do today, which task I'm supposed to focus on, what time I'm meeting clients. At this point, OpenClaw has basically become my 24/7 secretary. As someone running multiple companies, I can confidently say this setup is already saving me thousands of dollars in labor and operational costs. This thing feels illegal. It doesn't just execute commands, it thinks. It actually makes decisions that feel human. Recently, I've been building a new startup called Crafton, and while setting up a new Notion project management dashboard for the team, I thought, okay, let me record this whole process, because people need to see how crazy OpenClaw becomes when you connect it with Notion. I'm skipping deployment in this video because there are already enough tutorials online explaining how to install OpenClaw. So first, I created a new agent called Notion Planner, connected the LLM provider and communication channel. For my setup, I use GPT codecs and Telegram. Once that's connected, initialize the AI agent inside Telegram. This part is weirdly cool. It doesn't just wait for instructions, it interviews you. It asks who you are, what your system looks like, how your work is structured, almost like onboarding a real assistant. You answer a few questions, and slowly it starts understanding your world. I'll share all the prompts I used in this video, so after watching this, you can replicate the exact same setup yourself. Once initialization is done, we move into Notion integration page. Create a Notion API, then authorize the dashboard page you want OpenClaw to manage. In my case, I gave it access to my Crafton dashboard. Then copy the key, back to Telegram. First thing I asked, do you already have Notion skills installed? If not, tell it to install them. If yes, then just give it your API key so I can fully access our dashboard. But before letting it touch anything, I asked it to inspect my entire workspace first, because it needs to learn your database structure. It needs to know where your projects are, where your tasks are, where meetings are stored, who your team members are. So I told it, look through everything. Understand how this dashboard works. And it actually returned every database inside my system. It listed all my projects, tasks, meetings, and team members. It even figured out which one was me. Okay, this thing can fully take over my dashboard now. So first, I gave it a simple test. I created 2 dummy meetings inside my dashboard, then asked, what meetings do I have this week? And it got everything right. It listed both meetings correctly, told me who the meetings were with, what project they belonged to, and even reminded me one of them was happening in 25 minutes. That was already impressive. But then I wanted to test something harder, something that would really prove whether it can replace actual project management work. So I gave it a full request. Create a new project, build the project timeline, create tasks, assign tasks based on team availability, and let's look at what happened. The project got created, the tasks got created, every task was assigned to team members. And the funny thing is, I never asked it to create meetings. It decided by itself that meetings were needed. So it added them, then built a full 3-week production cycle and summarized the weekly execution plan. Now let's go back in Notion and inspect whether it actually made sense. Because creating data is easy. Creating reasonable data is hard. And surprisingly, it all made sense. The project start date and due date were logical. The task dates made sense. The assignees were not random. Nothing looked messy. Even the meetings were realistic. It added things like project kickoff meetings, front-end handoff discussions, basically meetings that actually belong in a development workflow. To see the logic more clearly, I copied its markdown tables into Notion because Telegram can't display tables properly. And once you read the schedule, you can actually see the reasoning. For example, it scheduled Easier for UI, UX design on March 18th, then Leo for front-end development on March 20th, and then on the same day it scheduled a handoff meeting between Evia and Leo, which makes total sense. Everything was surprisingly human. Then I tested another scenario. I told it, no, I want the project to start today, not tomorrow. And something interesting happened. It scheduled the kickoff meeting at 10 a.m., even though it clearly knew the current time was already 7 p.m. At first I thought, okay, maybe this is a mistake. But then I noticed it actually understood that after 7 p.m. is usually a time for human rest. In the end, I told it, reschedule it to 9 p.m. And after rescheduling successfully, it literally said, you now have a 2-hour gap, perfect for dinner. And then I had another thought. What if one day I don't even need to open Notion anymore? What if I can just use voice messages? So I tested that too. I picked up my phone, sent a voice message saying what I was currently working on, and it updated my project progress and task status automatically. And my whole team instantly knows what I'm doing now. If you want to go even further, technically you can connect extra skills so it captures your computer screen every few minutes, analyzes what task you're currently doing, and updates your task status automatically. At that point, you don't even need voice messages anymore. But yeah, Privacy becomes a real issue there because you're sending screen data into an LLM. So I haven't gone that far yet. Everything I used in this video, all the prompts, all the setup steps, I already organized into a document. I'll put it below the video so you can build your own AI agent. Then I'll turn the whole thing into a template so you can directly duplicate into your own Notion workspace. Just remember, after duplicating the template, when creating your integration API key, make sure you authorize that template page. Otherwise, your AI agent can't manage it. Also, recently Notion launched their own AI agent too. I tested it. It can actually do almost everything we just did here. So if you don't want to deal with deploying OpenClaw locally, using Notion AI might actually be the easier option because setting up OpenClaw, yeah, it's not exactly beginner-friendly. Quick ad break. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm currently building Crafton.io, a software startup focused on building tools that solve very specific problems. One thing we already launched is a free email verifier. If you run any kind of online business, e-commerce, digital products, SaaS, whatever, and you need to check whether the email users give you is real or just random fake input, you can use it completely free. No login, no sign up. Just paste the email and verify instantly. And if you find it useful, bookmark it, because we're shipping more free tools soon. I hope this video showed you how powerful OpenClaw becomes once it starts managing your Notion system like a real assistant. The full prompts and setup guide are linked below if you want to build the same workflow yourself. Thank you, and stay curious.